Well, that was Moonshiner's run by Yelawolf, and obviously I butchered the solo there. I didn't kind of go up towards the end there, but I was just improvising that because there's no tabs or anything for this song. But anyway, we're just going to quickly go through how this preset was constructed and my thought process. So you can see it's actually a really simple preset that we've got here, but you may notice an unconventional use of this noise gate here, and I'll get to that in a second. But you can see we've got an amp-a-cab, a noise gate, and we've also got this overdrive here. So we're going to start from the left here, and I've got this rage booster here, which kind of gives us like a little bit of a boost. I believe it pushes like the treble and whatnot, and it kind of gives the amp this kind of push, but gives us that classic sound. Because when I first heard this song, I was immediately like, oh wow, that's kind of, very Black Sabbath-y. So my thought process was, okay, well, to get this tone, we're going to have to kind of try and get a Black Sabbath tone. So fortunately, the Quad Cortex has quite a few amp choices that meet that criteria instantly, like plexis and stuff. And we'll get to that. But you can see I just leave the Rage Booster at 5. I found if I pushed it too high, it introduced a lot of noise. But even at this level, believe it or not, it introduces a lot of noise. So instead of using the input gate, I actually introduced the adaptive gate, but the side-chainable version. And what we're doing here is we're setting the source to the guitar input 1, and I've got a pretty moderate noise reduction here of 54.6%, and that cleans up the sound that we get from this Rage Booster on here. Now, I probably could have achieved this with a Tube Screamer as well, but the Rage Booster kind of got me the sound I was looking for in the song. I feel like it's pretty damn close. And then we go onto the amp here, and we've got the Silver Jubilee amp, which is the Brit UBL. And you can see it's actually pretty moderate settings on here. The input gain is just at 1 o'clock here, just a little bit over halfway. Bass is at neutral at noon. We've got the mid at 6.5, pushed a little bit because it is a bit of a mid sound. Treble at 7, presence slightly up at 6. Lead master at 5 and output master at 5, and that's all we do on that. So we're not really doing anything. The amp is doing a lot of the work because it is a very quintessential sort of 70s Black Sabbath-esque sound where the amp was the majority of the tone. Could have done this with like a plexi or something as well, but I just found the Silver Jubilee had a better sound on there. Okay, so now we're going to go on to final the cabinet, and you can see that we're just using the Marshall 60B V30 cabinet, 95 here, the mono cabinet, and I have adjusted the distance to 1. I've kept a 57 and the 160. I didn't touch this side. I just pushed the distance down just a little bit. That kind of got me that tone I was looking for. And then lastly, I'm doing a high pass at 80 and a low pass at 8,000, which kind of cleans things up and reduces the fizz on there. So that's pretty much all I did. Hopefully that helps you, and I'll see you around the next video.